All right, diving right in today. And honestly, I'm kind of pumped for this one.
Oh, yeah. What's got you so hyped? Time management, not usually a party starter.
Okay, true. But come on, we're talking about stealing back control of our days. No more drowning in to-dos.
Point taken. And from the looks of the Q&As we're diving into today, people are ready for that control.
Big time. It's like everyone's got the same wish list, more hours, less chaos, maybe a personal assistant who actually gets them.
And the thing is, a lot of the answers are surprisingly simple, not like quit your job and become a monk. Simple.
Right. More like, whoa, why didn't I think of that kind of stuff?
Exactly. Like all those people talking about feeling scattered, just riding the chaos wave all day long. One word kept popping up, planning.
Yeah, not even talking crazy detail, but just like knowing what you're aiming for.
Makes a world of difference.
For real.
Yeah.
There was that one person who said they were just going with the flow. By 5 p.m., it hit them total overwhelm.
Classic. It's like that saying, if you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. A little dramatic, but kind of true.
And the expert's advice there was golden. Create a structure for your day. Doesn't have to be rigid, but having a roadmap, game changer.
100%. Whether it's a daily to-do list or something more involved like time blocking.
Okay, time blocking, I gotta admit, sounds a little intense. Like scheduling every breath you take.
It's not that extreme. Think of it more like giving your most important tasks their own dedicated space to breathe.
So instead of squeezing things in between a million other things, you give it a proper time slot, like this is your time to shine.
Exactly. Research backs this up too. People who structure their days tend to get more done, feel less stressed.
It's not about being a robot, it's about being intentional, right?
100%. And on that note, another big theme that kept popping up, prioritization.
Because everyone's got that to-do list that seems to have a baby bunny farm living inside it, multiplying like crazy.
It's the worst kind of magic trick. But one of the experts had this awesome tool for taming that beast, the Eisenhower matrix.
Eisenhower matrix. Sounds kind of intimidating.
Don't let the name scare you. It's actually pretty simple. Imagine a grid with 4 squares.
Okay, I'm picturing it.
The top left square is for the drop everything tasks, urgent and important stuff, deadlines, emergencies,
Gotcha. If you don't do this now, the world explodes quadrant.
You got it. Now move to the top right square.
Okay, top right.
This is for things that are important but not urgent long-term goals, learning new skills, building relationships, the things that move the needle but don't have a flashing red deadline.
So, crucial but not a today problem.
Exactly. Now down to the bottom left, urgent but not important.
I've got a bad feeling about this one.
This is where those sneaky time wasters live unnecessary meetings, unimportant emails, other people's priorities that somehow become yours.
Ugh, I know those well. The illusion of urgency trap. They feel important in the moment, but aren't really.
You nailed it. Lastly, the bottom right square, neither urgent nor important land of mindless scrolling, binge watching when you should be working on your side hustle. You get the picture.
The procrastination station.
Bingo. The Eisenhower matrix is like a sorting hat for your to-do list. What needs attention now? What can wait? What can probably just disappear?
I love it. It's about making choices instead of letting the day make them for you. Yeah.
Absolutely. But even when we know what's important, sometimes those tasks just feel impossible,
Like staring up at Mount Everest of work thinking, how am I ever going to climb that? Luckily, one of the experts had some advice for those mountain tasks.
They did, and their advice was surprisingly straightforward. Break it down.
Makes sense. Instead of getting overwhelmed by the sheer size of something, you break it into smaller chunks.
Exactly. Like they say, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time.
Right. Suddenly it doesn't feel so impossible.
Exactly. Breaking things down not only makes the task less daunting, but it also gives you those little wins along the way.
Totally. It's like those progress bars you see when you're downloading something. Seeing that bar move, even a little, can be surprisingly motivating. Speaking of which, we can't forget about taking breaks, right?
Absolutely. Our brains need downtime, and that's something these Q&As really highlighted, the importance of breaks.
Yeah, it seems counterintuitive, though. Like, isn't taking a break just, slacking off?
That's the old way of thinking. Thankfully, more and more people are challenging that idea these days. In fact, one expert straight up called it a myth that breaks are wasteful.
So it's not about working more. It's about working smarter by incorporating those strategic pauses.
Exactly. And there's actually a technique for that, the Pomodoro technique.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that one, but honestly, I'm not sure I fully get it.
It's all about working in focused bursts, usually 25 minutes, followed by a short, 5-minute break.
Okay, I think I've tried that before.
And here's the key. After every 4 of those cycles, you take a longer break. 15, 20 minutes or so.
So it's like building in those mini rewards to keep your brain from going, nope, I'm out of here.
Exactly. Plus, knowing you have a break coming up makes it easier to power through.
You know what? It's funny you mentioned that. I actually started doing something similar in my own work, and it's been a game changer.
Oh, really? How so?
Instead of trying to work for hours straight, which, let's be real, always ended in me hitting a wall, I schedule in little breaks throughout the day.
And how do you usually spend those breaks?
Honestly, even just stepping away from my desk for 5 minutes, grabbing a cup of tea, doing some stretches, makes a huge difference. It's amazing how much clearer my head feels after a quick reset.
It's like giving your brain a chance to breathe, process information, come back refreshed. And speaking of things that can clutter our minds, distractions were a recurring theme in these Q&As.
Oh, tell me about it. It's like we're constantly bombarded with notifications, emails, social media. It's exhausting.
It really is. One expert had some great advice for dealing with those digital distractions. Creating a dedicated workspace was a big one.
Even if you don't have a whole home office, just a corner of a room or something.
Exactly. It's about creating that mental separation between work time and me time, even if your physical space is limited.
Love that.
Another one was turning off notifications, both on your phone and computer.
Oh my gosh, yes. Those things are like tiny attention vampires, constantly trying to suck you back in.
And the worst part is, it's usually for something that's not even important, so even if it's just for certain parts of the day, silencing those notifications can be so freeing.
It's like giving yourself permission to focus on what actually matters. We've covered planning, prioritizing, the power of breaks, and taming distractions. What else should we consider in our quest for time management mastery?
One more big one came up, energy management.
Energy management, that's a new one.
It's about recognizing that we all have different energy patterns throughout the day.
Like some people are morning people, others are night owls, that kind of thing.
Exactly.
And instead of trying to fight against that, we should work with it.
Exactly. It's about recognizing when you're naturally at your best for certain types of work.
Like if you're a morning person, tackle those big hairy tasks first thing, right?
You got it. Save the easier stuff for when your energy dips a bit.
I am 100% a morning person. Give me a cup of coffee and a clear head, and I'm unstoppable. At least until about 2 in the afternoon.
Aha. So many people say that.
Right. Then it's like someone flips a switch and I'm running on fumes.
And that's the point. We need to figure out our own personal rhythms and schedule accordingly.
It's like making an appointment with your most productive self.
I love that. Instead of booking a meeting room, you're booking your peak energy window.
This has been awesome. I feel like we've uncovered so many great tips and strategies for taking control of our time.
Me too. And what I really appreciate about these Q&As is how real they are, you know? These aren't just some abstract concepts. They're coming from people who are in the trenches figuring it out just like us.
Exactly. It's like having a bunch of time management mentors in our back pocket, sharing their best tips and tricks.
And honestly, even as someone who studies this stuff, I picked up some new ideas.
Same here. Now the question is, which of these strategies will you try first? Web time blocking, the Eisenhower matrix, or maybe experimenting with energy management. Whatever you choose, remember this. Effective time management isn't about squeezing more into your day. It's about making time for what truly matters. Until next time, happy organizing.